Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with mysticgenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho, and today I would like to offer the Air Elemental Intuitive Reading for the month of September 2023. Elemental energy covers the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I work best with elements versus zodiac, so we go this direction for now. But I am trying to improve my astrology knowledge. It's just not something that ever spoken to me very loud, so we'll go with what I'm used to working with. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, like the video if you are enjoying it, and drop some comments. Let me know what you think. Any suggestions or questions, you can drop those in the comment section below. And this is still working with this new idea, using the I-ching as a starter point for the readings, so we'll start off with that again. And for the air elemental energy, we have the hexagram number 5, if that shows up, there we go, and it is calculated in action, so that could be interesting. The text is calculated in action, or exhibiting the power to wait and the confidence of others win brilliant success. Righteous persistence brings good fortune. It will be advantageous to cross the great river. So this is where taking a break, pausing, reassessing before you move forward is what they're bringing up here. It says to accord with the circumstances now prevailing, action must be avoided. Danger lies ahead, but with firmness and strength we shall avoid failure. It implies not allowing ourselves to be bewildered or confused. The first two sentences of the text are indicated by the fact that the ruling line of thought of this hexagram is the line of the heaven, which is the 5th line here, which acts with rectitude and attains its end. The passage about crossing water means that it is a journey at this time that will be rewarded. So the first part of this month is the energy that's coming up is take a break, take a pause, reassess what's going on before you make major changes or any movement type of a thing. Because jumping ahead and not looking at the broader picture, taking that break to reassess where do you stand in your plans, just going forward blindly is not probably the best option. And being air energy, this is where you want to get out of the fantasy side of life and come back into the analytical side and really look at what's going on. So let's start on the lines. We start with the bottom line and work up. The bottom line is stay on the outskirts, avoiding action. Constancy preserves from harm. So again, staying on the sidelines, kind of watching, assessing who are all the players on the field and how are they moving. This is really something about observing and analyzing at this point, not stepping forward in action. So the second line is inactivity upon the river beach. Some slight gossip may arise, but the final result will be good fortune. So people may talk because you're not as active as you were. Let them talk. The outcome of this is beneficial for you. Let them just chatter away over there because they're not actively involving you in their chaos. So really just keep focusing this month on the analyzing, and they're saying this is primarily for the first couple of weeks in the month of September, so something to think about. The third line, going up from the bottom, is inactivity amidst the mud. This permits the approach of evil. So if you're in the middle of something that is not beneficial for you, you should probably get out of that and then assess once you're out of it. It's saying that there's possible that you're in the middle of something, and that's fine. If you are, get out of that situation. Make sure you're safe when you do your analyzing and observing. You don't want to be standing in a sinkhole and just keep going down, trying to figure out what to do next. This hexagram is saying get yourself into safe. Make sure you're safe while you're doing your analyzing. And if circumstances shift and all of a sudden they bring their chaos to you, step away, but keep yourself in the safe state. So the fourth line is inactivity amidst blood. Okay. We shall emerge from the abyss. So this is that whole following things through. So when you're watching, you're observing. If you're already in motion, finish that motion. Finish whatever it is you're working on. But take that time to analyze it as you're moving. This is really about getting back into your positive mental state and observing, analyzing, and critiquing. Air energy tends to want to analyze everything anyway. They want to think about it. They want to break it down into its simplest form and then recomplicate it, because that's what air does. And this is just saying, bring things that you're working on to their obvious conclusions and then start something different, but make sure that you've completed the past projects before you move forward. So the fifth line, inactivity amongst food and wine, righteous persistence will bring good fortune. This basically goes along with something I said in a previous reading. During this month, and they're saying towards the end of the month primarily, really pay attention to what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're putting into your body. Clean things up a little bit. That way your brain functions, because it's just a computer, on a higher frequency. So this fifth place, it's again, you're not doing a lot of active things, you're not making drastic changes, but you're tweaking things a little bit. And the inactivity amongst food and wine, basically saying don't be a glutton, don't overindulge. So let's see, the top line here is the final. It's entering the pit. 3 uninvited guests arrive. To honor them will ultimately bring good fortune. This goes back to even in the biblical times, where guests would arrive, and if you didn't treat them well, that was a sign of extreme dishonor. And in this text, it's saying that there's 3 things that may be coming up. And these 3 things towards the end of the month are really benefits for you. They may not appear that way because it's a stranger. It's something that you're like, what is this? Entertaining it, thinking it over, poking at it a little bit, seeing if it's something that fits, is a benefit for you. So the end of the month is really saying that there's 3 new things that may be coming into your life, 3 strangers, so to speak, things that you are not used to, may not even be aware of. And when they come in, entertain them, observe them, find out why they're there and what they have to offer, because one of them may actually be beneficial for you. So let's move into the tarot, and I read intuitively, so the messages that come through may not be the messages on the card. The messages in tarot and I-ching, most of divination, are timeless, so even if you're hearing this outside of September, these messages still have something for you. And if you're interested in any of the decks that I'm using, and the book I-ching that I'm using, or a kit for I-ching, those are linked in the description box below. There are 4 weeks approximately in September, so we'll do 4 sets, and for each week I read a guide or a guardian depending on what energy you need in that moment, a message from source, and my decks are about to fall off the desk, a message from source, what needs to be supported, what needs to be brought through, maybe it's just a message of comfort, and then a lesson or a challenge for the tarot for each week. So your first week is the Sunshine Yellow Dragon. Helps you to help animals, serve animals, heal, respect, and understand. So this could be talking about physical animals, like volunteering at an animal shelter, but it also could be working with your animalistic nature, the primal self. The Sunshine Yellow Dragon is going to help you if you're working with animals, then that's where the energy is going to be supportive of. If you're working with kind of dealing with that animal side of yourself, those primal nature urges, the Sunshine Dragon can help with that as well. So this guide or guardian for this first week is really helping you connect to animals or to your animal self so that you can find peace. Working with animals can be the most challenging thing in the world, but it can also be the most rewarding. Whether it's training dogs, working with cows, working with sheep, you have to learn yourself to work with animals. And so the Sunshine Yellow Dragon, helping you to help animals, is helping you understand yourself, because when you understand yourself and you're confident in yourself and confident in your place in the world, the animals will sense that and they respond accordingly. So just something to think about for the first week. Your message from Source is Hathor Light Codes, Light Immersion, Full System Upgrades, Power Recall. You're flipping the switch. Things are shifting. By working with animals, you are coming to know yourself better. Hathor is helping you bathe in light codes, helping you upgrade your system, helping you reconnect to who you are. This first week is coming through as it is the time to reassess, reconnect. The I-ching was telling you it's time for inactivity, and that doesn't mean you're not working. It just means outside world has put a pause on. You've put a pause on that. You're working internally with this one. And so the Sunshine Dragon and Hathor Light Codes are saying, bring in the light, reconnect with who you are, because when you know who you are and you're connected there, and we are constantly in a state of flux. We connect into ourselves, we disconnect from ourselves. So you're reconnecting at this point, and that's going to resonate outwards. Animals will be drawn to people who are connected and calm, and that's the message that's coming through with the Sunshine Dragon. So let's see what the lesson or challenge from the tarot is. We have the Knave of Swords, so we're working with your energy, air energy, and it's saying this first week, it's not about fighting, it's not about the battle, it's not about what you can do to get done, it's not about how fast you can get it done. When you connect with yourself, it's about reconnecting with peace, silence, and the divine. The Knave of Wands is about aggression, moving forward, intellectually conquering your enemies, and that is a lesson to be aware of, something that you need to basically kind of keep your head up on a swivel about. They're saying that this is not the time for confrontation. The time for confrontation will come later. In this particular moment, you're working on finding balance, reconnecting with yourself, and finding peace. The lesson or the challenge is there may be things that come up that are like, you have to fight this, you have to deal with it right now. Hathor and the Sunshine Dragons are saying, no, you don't. That's their energy, that's their BS, that's their chaos. Leave it over there. So for you air energies right now, it's really about staying here, focusing on your growth, even when someone else brings chaos over to you. And air energy, when I talk about that, is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So we will hop into your second week. We have Earth Dragon. Clear your path and the land around you. Stay grounded. Be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing, moving forward in life. The Earth energy is technically your opposite. Earth is opposite air. But that doesn't mean you can't work with it. So this dragon is coming forward saying, we may not be the best of friends. We may not like to work with each other. But during this week, let me help you understand grounding. Let me help you understand anchoring down. Because air wants to be up here. They want to float. They want to get out. They are very mind focused. The Earth Dragon is saying, you have a body too, so let's work on reconnecting with that. The first week was reconnecting on a spiritual sense, and the second week is coming forward so far saying it's time to reconnect in a physical sense. That could be reconnecting with your partner if you're in a relationship. It could be reconnecting with friends you haven't been around in a while. But the second week is about reconnecting in a physical sense. So, and it could be reconnecting with an old employer or an old employee, depending on where you are at life. So just be aware that the physical world's connections are the second week's of focus. So let's see what the message from Source is. We have the Holy Grail, inner discovery, finding sacredness, and you are what you seek. When you reconnect to the spiritual, reconnect to the physical, you start to notice that the things that you've been chasing, running after, you've had them all along. You just had this illusionary thought pattern that they were over there. They're here. They're here. They're in your heart. And the Holy Grail is the source of that wisdom and that knowledge. The Holy Grail is your connection to Source. It's your sacred beliefs, it's your sacred duties, it's that spark of fire of spirit that lives within you. So when you reconnect in the spiritual sense, you're becoming more aware of who you are. When you when you reconnect in the earth sense, the physical sense, you bring that who you are into your physical world. And that is where that creation comes in. That's where that spark, those things that you've always been chasing, that happiness, that joy, that pleasure in life, and that doesn't mean always certain kinds of pleasure, just pleasure at being alive. That's the grail. That's the joy of living. And so when you connect spiritually to who you are, and you connect that into your physical, where you appreciate and love your body, the people around you, the world, the job, whatever it is, then you've accessed the Holy Grail. You have that joy, you have that peace, you have that pleasure. And that's what the second week is, connecting you into the physical. But it's also saying, as you connect into the physical, what you've been seeking is already in front of you. It's just a matter of you not seeing it, because you are looking at you've been looking at other things, and you've disconnected from your physical world, and now it's coming back together where you can see it again. Your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the Four of Pentacles. Other people's opinions do not always benefit you, and this is where the inner world work is in silence. The outer world work is in your inner circle. So you don't really have to worry about what other people think. If they're not involved in your inner circle, those 5 friends that you have that you always, they have like the belief that there's 5 closest friends that are in your inner circle. If they're not in that circle, their opinion really doesn't matter to you. And that's what the Four of Pentacles is saying, is it does not matter what the other people are thinking, doing, or experiencing. This is not a time for other people's opinions. So your lesson or your challenge is, they might be over there, yap, 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 yap. Learning how to tune that out, because it does not apply to you, is huge. And that's what the message, the lesson or the challenge is can you tune out other people's negative commentary? I mean, you can analyze it. If it fits, then maybe there's some changes that need to be made. But if they're just babbling because they want to babble, that's on them. Let them go. And the message that's coming with that is, this is primarily at work is where you're going to notice that type of a situation in the second week. So your guide or guardian for the third week is Royal Blue and Gold Dragon. Strengthens you to stand in your power with wisdom. Awaken to your own majesty. Wear your cloak of power with pride. You've reconnected to your spirit. You've reconnected to your body, your circle. That's where your power lies. Your power doesn't lie in a position at work. Your power doesn't lie in your authority at a committee. Your power lies in your knowledge of yourself, your knowledge of your friends, and the connection to God's source divine energy. And the Royal Blue and Gold Dragon is saying, wear that like a cloak. People don't have to be told that you are on a spiritual journey. They don't have to be told that you're doing inner work. When you wear that inner work as part of your being, they're going to be aware that there's something different about you, that you are experiencing changes. They may not know how to deal with that, and that's fine, that's their deal. But when you wear that royalty, it's because you have done the work, and it's time for that work to manifest. So you're still bringing the inner world into the outer world. You've reconnected in the first week spiritually. The second week was physicality. The third week is, now that you've reconnected, now you can step more into that authority that you naturally carry. That does not mean being bossy. That just means that natural authority over your life is coming out. Your lesson from Spirit is the Venusian Galactic Council. Star being guides, answering the call, and it's your time to shine. Venus is the planet of love, so these are helping you understand agape love, divine love, spiritual love. And when you're putting on that cloak, you're stepping into your authority, you're doing so in a loving environment. There is a lot of belief out there about, oh, if you just do what your heart says, don't do that. Your heart and your mind have to work together, because your heart is a consummate idiot, your brain is too analytical for its own good. When they come together, though, they connect to their soul, your spirit. And that's where this is coming up, is you've done the analytical work, you've worked on the reconnecting aspect, and you're starting to bring your heart into the mix, which is awesome. The Venusian Galactic Council is saying, let's bring the soul along with us. Let's bring everything together. You've got 3 different aspects of yourself here, and the Venusian Council is saying, answer the call to bring it all together. Bring yourself into higher frequency, and by doing so, you're going to notice ripple effects with the group around you. You're going to notice those ripple effects with the people that you deal with, the work situations, even your friends are going to notice there's a difference. You're going to see a difference in them, because as you're shifting, your vibration is elevating and you're bringing them with you. And some may have to fall off because they're not quite ready for that shift yet. But the Venusian Council is saying, be who you are and allow that to shine forward. So let's see what lesson or challenge from the tarot is coming forward in this moment. And we have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Fire. Passions are rising. Things are moving faster than anticipated. That does not mean that you have to go with them. Just like with I-ching, there's a time and a place for movement. Analyze before you jump. The passions, the unfettered or unrestrained. I am having a hard time with my words today. The unrestrained emotions that run rampant will carry you away and lead you to destruction. So this is a card reminding you that you're bringing things into alignment, you're bringing things into balance. It is not the time to jump passionately into some project or some line of thought or practice, because it's not going to be the best option. You've been connecting, you're resettling, you're regrounding, and now it's time to allow that to shine. That doesn't mean that you have to shine and run down the road at 100 miles an hour. It means take your time, just like with the I-ching. The time for movement you'll know, and it doesn't mean it's going to be a drastic movement. You're going to cross the river with the I-ching, and that means that you're activating those movements when the time is appropriate. Don't just jump out there because there's an opportunity here. Is it the only opportunity? Is it the best opportunity? Use your air analytical mind and pay attention. But the third week there could be some challenges, and they're saying this could work with a relationship as well as work related. The relationship could be jumping too fast to the next level. The work, it could be getting too pushy, taking on a bossy role and not a leadership role. And that's where tapping into your Venusian Council and the Royal Blue and Gold Dragon, shine with your authority, but do so in the way that's most aligned with your higher frequency. So let's look at the 4th week. We have the Gold and Silver Violet Flame Dragon, transmuting old around you with wisdom and grace. It's time for transmutation, magic, and healing. Offer services under grace. This really implies with this particular dragon that you are changing the world, you're changing yourself, but you're not doing it in a drastic, aggressive way. Transmutation with wisdom and grace. This is where you step forward and you do those changes. It could be very subtle. I like to use the term Machiavellian. You're behind the scenes, you're adjusting the chess pieces. They don't realize that they're being moved around. They don't know that are being set into these higher states, setting them up for success, especially in work situations. But that's what the transmuting is. Because you've achieved a lot air energy, and this is saying that this is the time for you to shine. That doesn't mean you have to be bombastic and loud about it. They're really saying that this is the time for subtlety, grace, and wisdom. You've already had the experience with the knowledge, so you hold the wisdom. The grace is being okay with sharing it and adjusting things without being pushy or bossy, making suggestions where you're not forcing your opinions on other people. And by doing so, you're offering your services with that graceful character where the message is still getting out there. It's still changing things. It's adjusting things. But you're not doing it with a sledgehammer. You're doing it with a paintbrush. You're just touching things over there and they're moving the right way. So it's just about being able to make those changes in the smoothest way possible. Your message from Source is the Akashic Stargate, aligned with purposes, crossroads, no wrong path. The gold and silver violet flame dragon is helping you change your world, helping you adjust into the power that you have developed and how to use it. The Akashic Stargate is saying, now you understand why you felt that drive for so many years, pushing, learning, educating. I have to understand, I have to know. The Akashic Stargate is now saying, you found the purpose that you've been working towards. You have set yourself up for success. From here, gateways open. And the gateways are your choice. Whatever pops up, it doesn't mean, well, you've done this much work. There's only 2 options. There's several options. You take your pick. No wrong path. There's nothing really stopping you as long as you stay in alignment. And that's the message that's coming forward for this 4th week, is the changes that are coming forward, the transmutation that's changing one thing into another, the dross into the gold, coal into diamonds, however you want to look at that. It's not done for you in this moment, it's not done through the process of noise, violence, and aggression. It's done through simplicity, through grace, compassion, and wisdom. So let's look at your lesson or challenge. It is the 4 of Wands. I have to edit this one just real quick. The 4 of Wands. So we're still dealing with that fire energy, and it's saying that there are people who are willing to come along with you. The girl that's sitting down is like, oh, can you just carry me? And the warning here, or the advice here, is if they're not willing to step up as you're adjusting things, as you're creating this new environment for them to prosper in, as well as you to prosper in, if they're not willing to do their part, then it's time to step away. Because when you look at the card, she's trying to help her stand, but the girl sitting down's like, but can't you just carry me? You're not carrying people anymore. That's beyond it. The wisdom and compassion is knowing when people are willing to step up and move forward. Be willing to help them. But if they want to be carried because they just don't want to put the work in, it's not your problem anymore. So, and a lot of this was internal, more spiritual than it is outside this time. But with the I-ching and with the cards, it's really been emphasizing you've got some inner work that's coming forward in this month, and that inner work is going to blossom into the outer world. The last week especially is really talking about you've done the inner stuff, you've reconnected, you're regrounded, and now it's time to put it in play. And when you put that into play, when you put those inner changes and those inner reconnections into the physical realm, that's where you get the transmutation, that's where you get access to the Akashic, and that's where the growth really expands for you. So hopefully these messages resonated for you guys. With that, I will be ending this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and leave any comments, suggestions, even constructive criticism. As long as it's respectful, that's all we can really ask for in life. I will talk to you guys later.